Given the state of public services in this country, are you going to set out in more detail, aside from any of the kind of minor tampering with VAT on private schools, exactly how Labour intends to fund the overhaul of these public services?
In terms of your question around taxes, there are no additional tax rises needed beyond the ones that I've set out. We would extend the windfall tax on the profits that energy companies are making and use that to endow a national wealth fund, to invest in the low-carbon energy industries of the future, to preserve jobs and create new jobs, as well as energy independence and lower energy bills. In 5 weeks' time, the British people will go to the polls to make a profound choice about the future of our country. And where better to think about that future than here at Rolls-Royce in Derby. Away from the short-termism of politics, the pessimism of our present moment, here you have the very model of a great British business. A global brand synonymous with excellence that continues to this day to pioneer in new technologies critical to the challenges of a changing world. As Shadow Chancellor, one of the great privileges of this role has been to travel all around the country and meet entrepreneurs, innovators and business leaders all across the UK. In the most challenging of economic times, they give me immense optimism. Today, I want to put forward a simple proposition: that this changed Labour Party is today the natural party of British business. And I want to set out the central economic fault line in this election, the choice before the British people on the 4th of July. 5 more years of chaos with the Conservative Party leaving working people worse off, or stability with a changed Labour Party. The general election in 5 weeks' time is a chance for the British people to pass judgment on 14 years of economic chaos and decline under the Conservative Party. 14 years that have seen taxes reach a 70-year high. National debt more than double. And the typical homeowner remortgaging this year paying £240 more a month after the disastrous mini-budget. The Conservatives have failed on the economy. The plan isn't working. And Rishi Sunak's decision to call a snap general election is the clearest sign of that. If he doesn't believe that his plan is working, why should you? And no matter how much they tell us that Liz Truss was nothing to do with them, their every action speaks otherwise. They haven't learned their lessons. They're singing from the same songbook. With the Prime Minister's priorities dissolving into thin air, what is his last desperate throw of the dice? Not to deliver on the promises that he's made over the last 2 years, but instead to offer up £64 billion worth of unfunded tax cuts. They offered up just another one last night, and the Conservatives cannot say how they're going to pay for them. I'm not one of those politicians that thinks that the private sector is a dirty word or a necessary evil. I worked in the private sector. Before entering politics, I worked in financial services in West Yorkshire. I know what a successful business can do for places like those. And I know that economic growth comes from success of business, large, medium and small. Indeed, there is no other way. I'm not talking about the old trickle-down free market dogma of the past, but instead a new spirit of partnership between government and business, an approach fit for a more uncertain world. I know that there is no policy that I can announce, no plan that can be drawn up in Whitehall that cannot be improved through engagement with business. And our manifesto will bear the imprint of that engagement. I want to lead the most pro-growth, the most pro-business Treasury that our country has ever seen, with a laser focus on delivering for working people.